Mic check. Peas and carrots, peas and carrots. Presents. Hi, I'm Ashley Daigle, and this is Advice from the Cheerbrarian. Never heard that word before? That's because I smushed two words together because I felt like it. This week, we're going to do what we always do mix a dollop of advice to improve your life, born from a few of my successes and a boatload of my mistakes, with the book recommendation of the week, unearthed by my voracious love of reading, from self help to historical fiction and everything in between. This week, it is all about birthdays. Mine is coming up soon, and I love celebrating it, but I know birthdays can be super duper complicated. I'm going to share my tips on how to navigate birthdays and not fall into the trap of getting stuck pleasing others or placing secret expectations on the people in your life. If you like what you hear, and I really hope you do, please, pretty please, with 2 cherries on top, tell 2 people about this podcast and send them a link to an episode you enjoyed, because direct word of mouth is huge for a little pod like mine. And now, let's get into it. My birthday is right around the corner, y'all. It is less than a week away at the time that I will be posting this episode. And it should come as no surprise that for a person who created a segment called I Do Mean to Brag, that I love celebrating my birthday, which is just basically bragging about, I don't know, being born. Now, to clarify, I'm not a full birthday month person. Like, it's not like from, I don't need that much going on. My ideal birthday is I like there to be like 2 to 4 things. Not really, I'm not as much of a gift person, but experiences. I want to go to dinner, I want to have people over, I want to share things with people I care about. And as an adult, birthdays can be super weird. When you're little, and maybe this was your experience, maybe not, there's certain things you do. Like you have people bring snacks to class and you have friends take you out. And like there's sort of more established ways that birthdays are celebrated. And as an adult, it's like, what am I supposed to be doing? And I've got some pretty strong opinions on this topic. So I today will be getting on my birthday soapbox and I'm going to shed some light on ways you can better celebrate yourself and better celebrate the people in your life in respect to birthdays. So, first things first, I have my birthday PSA, public service announcement from me to you, boo boo. So, here it is. Whatever you want is a okay. And anyone who doesn't like that can get bent. Okay. So, on your birthday, whatever you want, big, small, medium, is fine because it is okay. And actually, I'm going to say it is essential to be self focused on your birthday. It's not selfish because, at least in this country and in our culture here in America, you may be listening from other places. And if so, hello, hi, how'd you find me? Cool. But anyway, birthdays are about celebrating yourself. And so you get to decide what celebrating yourself means. So it is not selfish, it is literally a thing about yourself. And I want to be clear that when I say in the manner in which you want, that if what you want is to do nothing and you want no one to say anything to you about your birthday, then I will defend your right to do exactly that, which may be surprising because I just got through saying what a big deal birthdays are. But that is what a big deal birthdays are to me. And that is what I want. And so I'm going to talk to the other people like me who love birthdays being celebrated and being a really big deal because it can be hard to recognize and understand and deal with the fact that not everybody wants that. So if you're like me and you like big celebrations and you have often, asked the people in your life, what do you want? And they're like, nothing. And you're like, come on, we have to do something. No, you don't. We got to stop trying to force this on other people. Because here's what happens. So the minute someone who's like really pumped about birthdays and really wants to make it a big deal, the minute you ask someone who isn't a birthday person, what do you want to do for your birthday? Like, we need to do something. What do you want to do? What you have done is you have unintentionally, because I know you have good intentions, you have unintentionally strapped them into what is essentially a roller coaster of anxiety because now they feel pressure to come up with something. Not that they want, because what they want is like not a lot. What they're going to try to come up with something that they think you want for their birthday so that your expectations of how they should celebrate their birthday are satisfied. And that's not what you want to do. So you got to learn to cut it out. But listen, If you're the person getting bothered, if someone is trying to force you into unwanted birthday fun, what can you say? I know it's difficult because you realize that the person is trying to do something that they think is nice. And so sometimes you feel forced and you're kind of at a loss. So, here, I'm going to give you a sentence that you can say. So, if somebody's trying to make you do something unwanted for your birthday, here's what you say. Repeat after me. It is so nice you're thinking of me. And I can see how that might be fun for some people, but that's not what I like to do for my birthday. I'm going to say it again. Write it down, turn on record, whatever you need. Ahem. It is so nice you're thinking of me, and I can see how that might be fun for some, but that's not what I like to do for my birthday. So you have acknowledged that you understand what they're doing, and you have not dismissed it to be like, ew, who would want to do that? Because the answer is probably, them. But you have just sort of made a claim that that is not what you want. And this is where step two of this, it might get sticky. You actually have to own up to what you want. So you have to advocate for yourself for a little bit. So you can say, that's not what I like to do for my birthday. What I like to do instead is have a quiet day at home. And I appreciate that you care about me and you want to do something, but that's not how I like to celebrate. And they may not like what you have to say, but if you're clear about it, if you're respectful about it, if you can like sort of set that expectation, that's hopefully going to help them understand and maybe they will back off. And so this is going to be my last caveat about forced fun and birthdays. Birthdays at work. Okay. No one at work should be made to have their birthday celebrating. Because here's the thing, y'all, celebrating people in a manner in which they don't like it is making them uncomfortable, giving people unwanted attention. That's worse than not doing anything at all. And like, I get that that can be hard to understand because at work, I want my birthday celebrated. I would be sad if it wasn't. But again, not everybody's like that. So, there was a job I had where I was in charge of what's called the fun committee, or we called it, what was it? Fun Times Express. Choo choo. Because it was like a fun train. You get it. It's good. Anyway, and it was really important to me that people had a choice. So instead of just saying, okay, we got a list of everybody's birthdays and everybody's work anniversaries, and on that we're going to do this, and we're going to have cake, and we're going to post a message in Slack, and everybody knows, and like, again, fun for a lot of people, not everybody. So we had an opt-in thing. So I said, hey, we're going to start doing this. If you want in, fill out this thing, check a box, and then we will do it. So then anybody who wanted to be celebrated got to make that choice. And then anybody that didn't also got to make that choice. So that's a little tip from me to you: birthdays in the workplace. And this is a real wacky, silly plan for birthdays. So here's the thing: if you really want to celebrate someone's birthday, and you have to do something because you just love them and you think they're so great, but like you're getting the vibe they don't want something, here's a weird idea from me to you: get their biological parents a present. Because really, like, I didn't do anything to be born. My parents did, and brought me into this world so that people could hopefully enjoy the experience. So it's like, if you want to celebrate me on my birthday, maybe like drop a card to Wayne and Ruby and be like, thanks for Ashley, she's cool. So you could do that for your friends or whoever. If I guess you could get their parents' contact information. That's a little side theory of mine. It's like, why are birthdays? Why are birthdays? I've done no research. I don't know. But there's my little weirdo tip. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about how to birthday as an adult, because as I said at the top of the show, I'm particularly good at it. So I'm going to give you some ideas because I know, maybe you grew up and people celebrated birthdays where, in your house, whatever your childhood experience was, maybe nobody ever celebrated. And so you're kind of at a loss. You're not even sure where to begin. So as an adult, you really have two options, because here's the real truth, y'all. No one owes you anything, really, like in all of life, but in particular for your birthday. So for your birthday, as an adult, you either make a plan and then you invite people to join in, like throwing yourself a party, going to see a movie, whatever, or you wait around to see if people in your life, like your friends or your partner or your children, want to plan something for you. That's really the only two ways to go about it, because it's not cool to have like secret expectations of people that you're hoping that they meet, though you haven't actually told them about those things. Like, that is an emotional trap that we do not need to set. And sometimes, these things might be trial and error. So if you have a person in your life who says, I don't want anything, Sometimes it means literally nothing. Sometimes you have to learn like what even your partner means. Like I have a husband whose birthday, he likes it to be more low key. And so one year I was like, okay, he said he wants nothing. So I did like nothing, nothing. And he was like, wait, nothing, nothing? And I was like, I thought you said you wanted nothing. And he's like, well, like we could have a cake and like my one like two people could come to the house. And I was like, oh, okay. So then I kind of had to learn like he means he doesn't want a big trada and a big obligation and a whole bunch of events. He might want one little bitty small thing. So you got to try. So going back to what I said about forced fun and people who are trying to make you do stuff. So if someone, even someone you love like a whole lot, is trying to force you into planning something for their birthday, because I already said as an adult, like you got to be invested. You got to put some effort in for yourself. So if they're trying to make you plan something, here's what you can say. This is going to be another repeat after me. I can see that your birthday is important to you. I'd love to celebrate you. Let me know what you're planning or what your expectations are. Again, we'll do repeat after me. I can see that your birthday is important to you and I'd love to celebrate you. Let me know what you're planning or what your expectations are, because that person, so usually I'm that person needs to be clear, because you're not a mind reader unless you are a mind reader. If you're a mind reader, please let me know. And if you want some concrete ideas for how to celebrate your birthday like a pro, first of all, you're going to remember that societal expectations can also get bent, and whatever you want to do on your birthday's grand, even if it's not even acknowledge it and like rip your calendar off the wall and pretend it's a different day. But if you want to do a thing, here are some options. Number one, give yourself a little sweet treat. There are a lot of individual serve options these days if you don't want to get stuck with like a whole cake. Nothing bundt cakes, if you can find one of those by you, those things are a little tiny, tiny delight. You can pop over to a cheesecake factory and get one piece of cheesecake, or like literally most grocery stores, you can go in and get a single slab of something sweet and delicious. You can also, here's an idea, maybe risky, take yourself somewhere solo. My idea, daytime movie. Now, if you have never taken yourself to the movies by yourself, it can seem scary, but remember this, no one cares about you as much as you think they do. Both, that's a positive thing and it's sometimes a negative thing. But nobody cares that you're at the movies alone. Nobody's paying attention to what you're doing. And I think dinner on your own is fun, but like maybe you need a baby step. And the movie, once you get inside, nobody knows that you're by yourself. Nobody's paying attention. They're watching the movie. And by yourself, you don't have to share snacks with anybody. So that's a win. Third one. This is an elevated idea. This is something for if you really want to go a little over the top of it. You can wear something that lets strangers know it's your birthday. So you can do one of these buttons. You can find these things at like Party City or wherever. Get a button. You can get you a sash. In my case, I have a tiara that someone gave me at least I think 15 years ago, and I wear it every year, every single year. And I will wear it to go to the grocery store and just whatever else I'm doing on my birthday. This again is an idea if you like people staring at you and being the center of attention. Here's where it gets real silly. Um, I like to wear it, and then people will say happy birthday. And then I go, oh my gosh, how did you know? And then there's this little moment where they're confused because they know that I'm wearing a tiara that says happy birthday. And then they're like, do they not know that they're wearing a tiara that says happy birthday? So that's just like a little fun. And then I'll kind of be like, I'm just kidding, whatever. So that's elevated. That's like a pro level birthday thing. Few other ideas. Find something fun. Go buy you a coloring book. Get a kite. Walk in the woods. Do like a face mask. Like something to just relax and an activity you enjoy. 2 words, binge, watch. I know in a previous episode, I told you we were going to stop using the phrase guilty pleasure, but if you're still working on that, I give you permission to watch whatever you want all day, days, a week, whatever you need. And last but certainly not least, you can celebrate with a good book. And I've got a couple in mind. In this week's unrequired reading It is me celebrating my birthday. So I've got 3 books we're going to talk about because it's my birthday. We're not just going to do one. Come on. So, what are we going to talk about? So, we've got first up one of my favorite books. Then we're going to talk about a book that is very on the nose, very birthday topical. And then we're going to talk about a book that is pure fun, just like I think a birthday should be. The first book, one of my favorite books of all time, is Lamb by Christopher Moore. The full title of this book, buckle up, is Lamb, the Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal. Now, this book is fiction and somewhat satire. And what it is about is like in the Bible, basically, Jesus is born, he's in a manger. We all know about that. And then we basically fast forward later in life and he's like an adult and he's flipping tables and he's like coming into his own. But what about all the parts in the middle that are not covered in the Bible? Like, what was Jesus like growing up? And so Christopher Moore has written this fiction book. It might seem sacrilegious to some, but like he's not contradicting anything biblical. He's basically doing like a what if could have happened in the middle and he's like filling in the gaps. So there are 2 memorable scenes that I need to talk about that like have stuck with me. So the first one, and this is the book is according to Biff. So the structure of the book is at the very beginning, Biff is like brought back into reality in modern times by an angel and told to write the story of Jesus as he knew him, or Joshua as he called his friend. So this is from Biff's point of view. So the first memorable scene was that when Jesus was, let's say, like 7 or 8, Biff is like meeting him for the first time and he comes up to him and Jesus has a lizard and he holds it and he kind of squeezes it and it like dies. And then he like puts it in his mouth and he brings it back to life, which, a little silly. But like, if there was a child who had the unlimited power and all knowing whatever, and he was 7, that might be a thing he would do. Like, it tracks. There's the second scene I want to talk about is he's a little older, maybe teen years, and they're like walking through a market together. And then Jesus keeps like touching people, and then they're like standing up straighter and they're like healed. And Biff is like, Jesus, you got to bring it down. Like, people are starting to pay attention. So, again, probably something a teenager would do with that sort of power. And so he explains in the prologue of the book that like this book should be taken for what it's worth. He's not trying to make fun. He just did this as sort of a entertaining and thought-provoking what if story. And I just found it to be so creative and so interesting. And I have read it a few times. So that was Christopher Moore's Lamb, the Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal. The second book, the one that is very on the nose, is one that I was actually gifted on a birthday, and it is called 100 Years Wisdom from Famous Writers on Every Year of Life. This is a book that my husband purchased for my birthday one year to actually use it as like a pretty creative guest book for people coming to celebrate my birthday, which is awesome. So my copy now has like signatures on different years, which is neat. This is like what I would call a coffee table book. So it's literally like for every year of life, there is a quote from an author about being 1, being 2, being 3, and so forth, all the way up to 100. So it's something you'd keep around and you could kind of peruse, use similarly. It'd be a good gift to give someone like for their birthday. So what did these famous writers have to say? So I am, as of this recording, 41 years old. And at the time of my next birthday, I will be 42. And so I'm going to tell you what the book has in there for those years. For 41, it says, when we are 41, we all think it would be nice to make a fresh start. It's the kind of thing we laugh at when we're 42. That is by V.S. Naipaul, who wrote Gorillas. Let me tell you, when I just read that, I was like, that is accurate and rude and well written. For 42, it says, I'm 42 years old, which is a lot more like middle age than 40 or even 41, neither old or young, by Claire Massoud, the woman upstairs. Okay, Claire, middle aged, no lies detected, I guess. So that is a fun book to have. And if you want me to tell you what it says for any other year, for your birthday or somebody else, reach out to me on social media. I will flip through and I will tell you what it says. And the last book we're going to talk about today, this is the one that's just pure fun, something for you to lock the door, turn off the phone, and just dive into. That book is Lies and Weddings by Kevin Kwan. And I will be honest, this is a book I'm not quite done yet. I'm like this close. You can't see my fingers, but they're like touching each other. I'm going to finish it today once I'm done with this. But I'm so confident that I'm going to love it until the end. I'm going to talk about it already and rave about it. I'm reading it along with a good friend of mine. She's ahead of me. She actually finished it yesterday, and she texted me. This is a strong endorsement. She texted me and said, "OMG, stop what you're doing. Tell your family you love them, and go read this book." So, like being told to ignore your family to read, very bold. So what is this book about? So Kevin Kwan, if that name sounds familiar, he is the guy who wrote the hit book series and also movies Crazy Rich Asians. And so if you like those at all, you are going to love this. I mean, right there in the title, there's a lot of lies, there's a lot of weddings, it is opulent, there is scandal. There is one part that was so surprising. I literally gasped out loud, like a character in like a movie. I was like, so, oh gosh. And like last night, I should have gone to bed and I didn't. I was still reading. So, like I said, get this book, turn off your phone, ignore your family, and have some fun. And in keeping with celebrating my birthday to the fullest, for my birthday, I'm going to give myself a little break. So there will be no new episode on September 10th, but I will see you, or I guess you will hear me again on September 17th. And this will also be the mark of the start of season 3, which is going to bring us more fun co hosts and, of course, a lot of great books. And, with summer winding down, this little break may give you an opportunity to catch up on episodes because some people have reached out to me to be like, oh, I'm loving it, but I'm behind. And like, y'all, here's a little sidebar. I love that you're liking this content and that you want to get caught up. But like for me to you, do not add this podcast to a list of things you're trying to hold yourself accountable to. Okay. It's not that serious, but also you should listen to it. Thank you. I love a little recap because life is busy and I want you to have something to take with you. So, what the heck did we do today? In this episode, I got on my birthday soapbox with a megaphone to say, a birthday is about the person whose birthday it is, and whatever they want to do is absolutely fine. I also shared a few ways to navigate your birthday as an adult because birthdays and aging are weird. In unrequired reading, I shared one of my favorite books, Lamb, the Gospel According to Biff, Christ's Childhood Pal by Christopher Moore. I also recommended 100 Years Wisdom from Famous Writers on Every Year of Your Life for perusing, and Kevin Kwan's new book, Lies and Weddings, for oh so much fun. And remember, I'm gifting myself a little break, so I won't be back with a new episode until Tuesday, September 17th. In the meanwhile, and in honor of my birthday, find a little way to celebrate you because you deserve it. And please follow and review wherever you pod and join the Cheerbrary on Instagram or Facebook by following me at the @Cheerbrarian handle. That's where you can see resource links and other goodies and talk to me, which I would love. Now go on, get out of here. Celebrate your way. Drink more water. Okay, bye.